Sports Link, Weather Report, and the City Beat. Rated A. We give you the action with accuracy and authenticity.
Good afternoon. Welcome to City News here on Roots FM 96.1. The news today is brought to you by our parent company, the Mustard Seed Communities, caring for the most vulnerable. Thanking our listeners on the 96.1 FM dial and also persons tuning in via our website at rootsfmjamaica.com. I'm Owen Brown.
I'm Martha Williams.
Stand by for the news in detail. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, NRSC, Dr. Lucian Jones, says despite the best efforts of the authorities, 480 Jamaicans died last year as a result of motor vehicle crashes. That's 7 fewer than the 487 recorded the previous year. Dr. Jones says the numbers are likely to increase as anyone who were injured last year and dies up to the end of this month would be counted in the 2022 figure. He outlined a number of things that must be done this year to curtail the number of road fatalities.
Work very closely with the police and with other agencies to ensure that the provisions under the New Road Traffic Act are fully captured. We'll have to continue to work with the Ministry of National Security and Justice to ensure that we have an efficient and robust ticketing system. These two things in particular can make a huge difference in respect of road crashes and deaths and injuries during the course of 2023. We can't continue to depend on deaths alone, as important as they are, because injuries and the cost to the country, those issues are just as important. We will need to continue to work with our international partners to access funds, to work more closely with the police, to work more closely with them to use the breathalyzer systems much more aggressively.
Dr. Jones says the council will also have to do better job in liaisoning with Ministry of Health to track the number of persons who are injured as a result of road fatalities. According to Dr. Jones, vulnerable road users make up the bulk of persons who are killed on the nation's roads. He says that failure to stay in the designated lane is a major cause for concern. 53 rounds of ammunition were seized on New Year's Day by police during an operation on Ambrook Lane, St. Andrew. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that around 12:30 in the morning, police conducted an operation in the area. The lawmen saw an open lot, which was searched, and the assorted rounds were found concealed in a plastic bag. The haul includes 5 12-gauge cartridges, 20 38 cartridges, 15 5.56 cartridges, 9 40 cartridges, 9 40 cartridges, and a magazine loaded with 4 9mm cartridges. Police seized the ammunition but are yet to make an arrest in relation to the find. Meanwhile, just 18 hours into the new year, the police seized 5 firearms, 3 magazines, and just under 100 rounds of ammunition. Of the 5 weapons, the security forces seized 2 firearms during an armed confrontation with a gunman on Balcombe Drive, Olympic Gardens in St. Andrew, 5 minutes into 2023. The gunman was mortally wounded during the confrontation and the weapons taken from him. The police recovered an 8K-47 rifle and a handgun with an extended clip. It's reported that he was spotted by a security team doing a gun salute to ring in the new year. A Jamaica Defence Force JDF soldier succumbed to injuries he sustained in a vehicular collision on the Bethel Town Main Road in Westmoreland on Sunday. He has been identified as Private Giovanni Morris, 20-year-old of Lincoln District, Grange Hill in the parish. Reports are that about 3:15 p.m. Morris was travelling in a motor vehicle with another soldier when their vehicle collided with a water truck. Both JDF members were taken to hospital, where Morris later succumbed to his injuries. Investigations are continuing. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck has charged public passenger operators who have exorbitant traffic tickets to access a loan in order to pay off their debt. His suggestion comes as he warned that if the fines are not paid by the 31st of January, they will be prosecuted. Chuck was sharing his views on the issue with a batch of 43 Justices of the Peace for St. James during their commissioning ceremony in Montego Bay last week. He reinforced his earlier expressed hardline stance against showing leniency on road users who have racked up huge number of traffic tickets that are then left unpaid. Some players in the public passenger service have asked for an amnesty by the government. However, the government has been reluctant to go to that route. It did, however, say that motorists who cleared their tabs by January 31 will not incur demerit points. The new Road Traffic Act comes into effect on February 1, 2023. Andros Campbell has been appointed the new Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service, JIS. Campbell has been employed to the JIS for over 18 years. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, said Campbell, who was selected by the Services Commission from several persons who had appointed for the CEO position, has been appointed on a 2-year contract effective October 1, 2022. Campbell replaces Donna Marie Rowe, who left the State Information Agency in March after her contract was not renewed. She had been acting CEO in the interim. In reaction to the appointment, Campbell said she's honored to have been selected to serve her country at this level, and she looks forward to leading the team at JIS to even greater heights. Campbell also served as editor in the radio department from 1996 to 1998, senior copy editor at television department from 1998 to 2000, manager at the radio department from 2000 to 2009, director of production from 2009 to 2017, and deputy CEO from 2017 to March 2022. The police in St. James have confirmed that a suspect has been taken into custody in connection with the death of a man from Britain who was shot dead by armed men at a guest house in Bogue Hill, St. James on Monday. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old Sean Patterson, a personal trainer who resides in West London in Britain. Reports are that about 11:45 a.m., Patterson was standing on the pool deck on the One Love Villa in Bogue Hill when he was approached by a man with a handgun. It's reported that the gunman chased Patterson and shot him multiple times. The police who were called saw Patterson in the pool of blood when they arrived. He was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The 34-year-old suspect, who is said to be from Kingston, was allegedly deported from England in 2013. Patterson is the first person to be murdered in St. James since the start of the year. In 2022, St. James recorded a total of 198 murders. And for news further afield, Barbados, which recorded more murders last year than in the previous year, has instituted more severe fines and penalties for gun-related crimes as the Firearms Amendments Act 2022 came into effect on Sunday. In 2011, Barbados had recorded 32 murders, but that figure was surpassed last year, with the authorities acknowledging that in November last year, when 38 murders were recorded. A government statement said that under Section 29(2) of the Act, a person who aids, abets, counsels, or procures another or conspires with another to commit an offence under this Act is guilty of an offence and is liable to the same punishment as is provided for the offence. And internationally, The Chinese government sharply criticized COVID-19 testing requirements imposed on passengers from China and threatened countermeasures against countries involved, which includes the United States and several European nations. Foreign Minister spokesperson Mion Ning said at a daily briefing today that they believe that the entry restrictions adopted by some countries targeting China lacked scientific basis, and also some excessive practice are even more unacceptable. Moan said that they did not specify which steps China may take. The comments were China's sharpest to date on the issue. Australia and Canada this week joined a group of list of countries requiring travelers from China to take a COVID-19 test prior to boarding their flight. China battles a nationwide outbreak of the coronavirus after abruptly easing restrictions that were in place for much of the pandemic. And those are the stories making City News. Stand by for the weather report with Marcia Williams.
Good afternoon. This is the weather report, and I am Marcel Williams. There's a high pressure ridge. The ridge will remain through to Thursday. Thereafter, a trough from the east will move within the vicinity of the island. This afternoon will be cloudy with showers mainly across south central and western parishes and windy along the south coast. Tonight will come fair. The maximum temperature in Kingston today is 32 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy in the morning across northern and southeastern parishes and sunny elsewhere, and also partly cloudy in the afternoon across hilly areas and windy on the north coast. Thursday will become partly cloudy in the afternoon with showers mainly across central and western parishes and windy along the coast. And on Friday will be partly cloudy in the morning across eastern parishes in the afternoon and also having afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms across the central and western parishes and partly cloudy elsewhere. And that was the weather report. This time by for Sports Link with Doddy Thompson.
It is now time for Sports Link on Roots and 6.1 FM.
Hello there, sports fans. I'm Dudley Thompson, and welcome to Sports Link. And we start with news on football. Fireworks greeted the ball at the hearse, carrying Pele's coffin as Brazil and the rest of the world bid farewell to the football legend. Pele's body was seen moving through the hospital where he died to the stadium from former club Santos. The coffin has been placed in the center of the pitch for members of the public to pay their last respect. Last week, the three-time World Cup winner died at the age of 82 following a long battle with colon cancer. Fans began to queue into the Villa Belmiro Stadium, which holds a capacity of 16,000 persons. In the early hours of the morning, the venue, just outside of Sao Paulo, is home of Santos Football Club, for whom Pele scored a large portion of his 1,000-plus career goals. The legend's coffin arrived on Monday morning and was placed under a large canopy. The Calgary ceremony, the walkway of either side of the tent allowed fans to walk past Pele's coffin and pay their respect. There was also a procession through the street of Santos, the private family burial tomorrow. Brazil government declared a 3-day of national mourning after Pele's death. Football now locally. Harbourview striker Trevon Reed has signed an United Soccer League side Oakland Roots. Reed, who transferred from Tivoli Gardens in January 2022 to Harbourview, helped the side of the East to win the 21-2022 Jamaica Premier League title. Oakland Roots technical director Jordan Farrell says Reed's creativity and dribbling intelligence in the box fit well with the way he plays, and they look forward to watching him continue to grow. Now, meanwhile, defending champion Harbourview will lock horns with former champion Portmore United in the second match of doubleheader at Jamaica Premier League at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex today at 7:30 p.m. Harbourview in the second spot with 15 points and will be moved then to the summit of the table with 18 points, one head of Mount Pleasant. Meanwhile, a win for Portmore United will push them 3 points clear with 15. In the other day's game, the Holden will face Molynes United, and Molynes is the 12th in the table to secure 3 points to move them fourth place or clear off the relegation group of 9 to 9 points. Yesterday's result: Waterhouse Clip Falkland 1-0, Cavaliers blanked Tivoli 3-0, View United, Humble Lions drew 0-0, while Mount Pleasant whipped Molynes United by 5-1. Results of games played in football overseas in Premier League. Brentford beat Liverpool by 1-0. And the games on today: Arsenal will take on Newcastle, Everton will take on Brighton, Manchester United will play Bournemouth, and Southampton will take on Nottingham Forest. The games on for tomorrow in the Premier League in England: Leeds will take on West Ham, Aston Villa will play Wolverhampton Wanderers, Crystal Palace will take on Spurs, and Chelsea will take on Manchester City. On note of cricket, result of the India keeper Robert Pants, MRI on the brain and spine are normal. He has been undergone plastic surgery for facial injury, laceration, wounds, and abrasion suffered in a serious car accident on December 30. MRI scans of the ankle was also done. The medical bulletin released by the hospital said that Pants is stable and has sustained multiple abrasions in the right hand, forearm, and leg. The laceration wound over forehead and eyebrow, and his graze also on his back. And on that note, we come now to the end of SportsLink for today.
And for a recap of our top stories, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, says despite the best efforts of the authorities, 480 Jamaicans died last year as a result of motor vehicle crashes. Just 18 hours into the new year, the police seized 5 firearms, 3 magazines, and just under 100 rounds of ammunition. Minister of Justice has charged the public passenger operators who have exorbitant traffic tickets to access a loan in order to pay off their debt by January 31. And Enthros Campbell has been appointed the new Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Information Service. The news today was brought to you by our parent company, the Mustard Seed Communities, caring for the most vulnerable. Thanking our listeners on the 96.1 FM dial and also persons tuning in via our website at rootsfmjamaica.com. I'm Owen Brown.
I am Martha William.
And I'm Dudley Thompson.
On behalf of the entire team, have a wonderful afternoon. Stand by for City Beat.